The standards in the United States are absolutely abysmal. I think this is something well known by now. We've known it forever, and now it's time that we gotta do something about it. So what should we do? Perfect plan. JFK actually already solved this. He did take some advice from the painter, but it is a good initiative nonetheless, which is to have a standardized physical makeup for all our youth. Now, I'm going to add an additional layer onto this. Obviously, the problem physical fitness in the United States for years has been known as something horrible. We have a reputation for being fat, weak, obese, and stupid. We don't need that for our people and our population. I would prefer, and I think almost every American in the entire world would prefer, our population to be known as healthy, strong, fit, and virile. I think that's something great. We're already known for being rich, so why don't we just add all the other good stuff on top of it? This would not be that hard to do. We already have physical education and PE, although it's a joke. Anyone who's been through the public school system knows exactly what I'm talking about, and where I already did an episode on the poor health effects or health effects of food and all that. That episode covered food. This episode is focused on physical fitness. So physical fitness and a strong, healthy body is absolutely necessary for a healthy mind and healthy instincts, which make a society healthier and then push the entire species and entire country forward. So this, what would we do? Okay, so there'd be a standardized like pull-ups, push-ups, like what is it, 10 pull-ups, 30 to 40 push-ups, a 1 to 3 mile run, which we could amp up a little bit. And then mobility, flexibility. When you get older, once you get around to the 16 age area, implementing martial arts, which we could probably, our martial arts we could probably implement earlier, like 12. We'd start martial training, martial arts, and then immediately from there, around 16 probably, integrate weightlifting. At around 12, at the same age we start implementing martial arts, we should also implement relaxation and stretching, mobility. Extremely important part of the puzzle that we do not do. And this is to teach them how to work out and then also how to cool down. The weightlifting will be to increase bone density, which will both be good for men, obviously in terms of physical strength, hormone output, testosterone, because we need to recover from all the poison that we've been putting into our bodies, but also for the women for increasing bone density over the course of their life, which will significantly help them with a lot of bone density issues and a lot of like other things where women might have more frail bones. This will help them to an incredible degree. Now, this is obviously something we can control for in public school systems and should be implemented in public school systems immediately. And we're not B2. We have no shortage of fitness influencers in the United States, as you know, as literally anybody knows, because our market is saturated with them. That's good. That means it'll keep our standard of physical fitness and health very high. And the martial training, you don't necessarily need to be an MMA champion, but you do need to learn how to defend yourself. This is good for both confidence and health. And the mobility is to teach people not how to sit in chairs all the time. Teach them how to move, how to breathe, how to stretch. Very, very good for them. You don't need a bunch of time. Probably 1 hour of physical fitness a day, 1 hour of, or 30 minutes of like this cool down period. So it'd be like an hour and a half, every day for the youth. Now, and you would mix it up. You don't necessarily need to do martial arts every day. Maybe they have something where they specialize in it over time, but they would need something where that they have the weight training maybe 3 days a week, and they have the martial training 3 days a week, and then one day where they're doing the mile and all that, or you stack it on top. There'd be some sort of breakdown. But the physical system we have now, the physical fitness system we have now is really subpar. There's like game playing. Yes, you like run a mile, but then like half the girls sit there and eat hot Cheetos the whole time and don't actually do it. And then you got people walking, and it's just like, no. They need to be pushed. They need to be pushed like they're actually going to use for something in life. And they don't all need to be the best at it. They need to be able to do it. It's the standard, and everyone needs to be held to the standard. This is to the betterment of everyone in the whole society and them for the rest of their existence. This will be good for them. Okay. And then now taking this and moving this solution up to the older, I'm saying older as in 18 plus, where it's like, now you have free choice. No, you don't need to work out, but I do think it should be not only heavily incentivized, which it already is in our culture, for a portion of the population, but I think it should be incentivized for everybody, but not necessarily through forcing them like, oh, you need to do this. maybe there should be some sort of health check. So it's like, if we go to the route of free healthcare, which I still think is something the United States deserves. I really do. I think we're in 2025. We're in the future of humanity. There's no reason we shouldn't have free healthcare. But when you have free healthcare, you need to. I think part of that should be, first off, a test you get every year to reassess you in your physical fitness and your physical health. And that includes everything from mobility to physical strength to cardio performance. And it doesn't need to be insane out of this world. It just needs to be very basic. Just maintain from the baseline that you achieved when you were 18, even maybe accounted for age. So you don't need to be a super athlete, but a lot of people will be able to far surpass this bar because the human body continues to get stronger and stronger and stronger and stronger. That's why men weren't able to marry until their 30s in Greece. They weren't meant to marry because they weren't at their peak. Okay? I'm so tired of people like, oh, you peak at 21. Bro, no, you do not. No, you do not. Stop believing these lies. That's not ever how it's been in human history. Like, literally ever. I don't know what on earth people have been reading, but you're reading the wrong stuff. You're not reading truth. You're reading something that makes you feel good or bad. Now, focusing back, I was getting a little off track here. Focusing more dialed in on the physical fitness standards. So for people who are out of the schooling age, I do think the solution here is making it so instead of like, oh, you need to pay all this money like for profit, I think there should be kind of like how you have LA Fitness, which is like a bigger one. So moving some of these institutions into institutional, like, there can still be private gyms, but there should be public gymnasiums, and there should be either company instated gymnasiums where you have it's like prepaid for by the company with like some sort of like write-off for the government or something like that, or maybe you could directly write it off on your taxes, or maybe maybe just all expenses paid, or there's some significant discount for every American, which should be, and it's to incentivize to remove this cost barrier, which I don't think is the main thing keeping people from it, but it's something to incentivize it. So if you're not doing it, you're choosing to be unpatriotic. But I do think it's extremely necessary too. And I think keeping people like the health, like somehow the healthcare system being tied to a physical fitness indicator would be really, really, really good metric to incentivize people to maintain good health, to receive good health care, because that means you're taking care of yourself for our country, for you, and for your family, and for your future generations. That's a really good thing, because this is better for everybody. Now you're healthier, they're healthier, the country's healthier. You can live longer and you can play longer with your kids. There's so many good benefits to this. And then the check would be, like I said, extremely basic, but enough to get the free healthcare, which will be held to a higher standard, which honestly you probably won't need with clean, healthy food and a strong, healthy body. The odds you actually need it will go down so much. And this is my solution to this, which is basically just what JFK had, and then I'm just introducing a more long-term form of it where it's not just focused on the youth, and it's actually focused on throughout your entire life as a member of the country. And it makes sense that JFK probably didn't go down this because back in his day, people could just like eat food and like do stuff, and they didn't die because the food wasn't poison. But we live in a different time, so different times call for different measures. This is my solution. As I said before, a healthy, strong body gives way to healthy, strong instincts. Healthy, strong instincts allow your mind to work better and lead a society towards a more virtuous and noble outcome, and will make it last much longer. A society full of unhealthy people and unhealthy instincts will always, 100% of the time, destroy itself. This is known, this isn't new, this has been known from the times of Greece to Rome, Napoleon. Doesn't matter how far back you go, we all know this. And this can be easily corrected, and it can be corrected in a way to everybody's benefit. Okay? Yeah, thank you.